Hi there traders, and welcome back to Elite Trade Skills for part 3 of our price action video series, which is on what we term shoulders. Now you may know them as higher lows or lower highs, but I really do like our terminology better. It's got more of a kick. So if you stick around, grab yourself a coffee and I'll explain to you how we utilize them in our trading and what we're looking for. See you on the flip side. So what are these fancy things we call shoulders? Like I said, it's just a lower high or a higher low, but it is a massive part of our trading and our setups, what we're looking for in price action, whether it be a stock, a currency, an index. I utilize them quite a bit on the Hang Seng, and I'm really just looking to time my entries when I see the first sign of weakness or the first sign of strength, depending on when I'm buying or selling. So what I've got drawn up here is just two examples of what I would be looking for. So for example, this is a shoulder on the short side and a shoulder on the long side. All right, so what we're looking for is we've got a bit of a trend up, and it might be into a resistance zone, we don't know, or we're just getting failed highs. But what I'm ideally looking for, or what I turn the shoulder, is on the right side of that price action. And what we would say is just this area here where we've got some lower highs coming into play. And that you can see that's really the first sign that that trend up is starting to fail, and sellers are starting to step in at a lower price. They're not waiting for it to get into a new high before they sell, whether they're taking profit or whether they're entering into a new trade. But what you'll see is it stops making high highs, okay? And we're really making that first lower highs. That's that first pullback where we're looking for continuation, and it starts to fail, where sellers are really just starting to step in and hammering that price lower. And what we're really looking for is an entry on the downside off that shoulder, and we're looking for that price to expand lower and really put pressure on all these longs that are built up in here. And if you look at it in the flip side, for a long setup, same sort of thing. We've got the market might be pressing down into a zone, a support zone, or it's just starting to fail at a certain level, whether it's on a larger time frame failure and it's starting to push back up again. We're not really worried about that so much as we're worried about the shoulder and how to enter off a shoulder. When we get price action that's telling us that the selling pressure is starting to run out of steam, we can see it's quite strong earlier on. Lower highs, lower lows, lower high, lower low, it starts to press in another lower high, but it gets failure at the previous bottom. It might be a double bottom, or it might flush through and then bounce back. But importantly, what you're getting is buyers starting to step in and not waiting for it to get down to this level, to recent lows. They're starting to step in at a high level, and we're looking for a break on the upside where it starts to put pressure on all these sellers that start to stack up. Okay, so what we're looking for is an early entry into that unwind, whether it's on the upside or an unwind on the downside. Okay, so let's look at a couple of examples now. Okay, so what I've got here is Ethereum, and it's actually recent price action. We can see the market's really started to head south. So if I just mark it up of key levels of what I'm looking for, or what I see as a key level, we've got price action from the left is heading down. Okay, then we've got a reaction back up. It takes out some of these lower highs. The market presses back up, puts pressure on the sellers, but then it starts to fall short. We've got a previous resistance zone, which it failed at, but before, headed down. It's come back up, it's retested here. So what we've got is this zone is becoming active again, or traders or sellers are respecting that level, and buyers are starting to have to respect that level. Okay, and what we could see once the market starts to, it's about this stage here, it starts to react off, and then we've got this, tried to press back up, and we've got this little minor level starting to come into play. And what I would term is this is my shoulder. Okay, so what we can see, price action pressing down, pressing back up, failure at the previous level again. But at this stage, just before that shoulder starts to play out, as the market's pulling back, we could, and I'll just draw that up, there's no reason why we can't hold. Okay, we may hold this level and start to react back up, take out that resistance zone. So what you're doing by entering in a shoulder, when we start to see sellers entering into the market and pressuring price back down, you're putting the odds of success in your favor. It's a high probability setup for us, okay? And you'll start to see weakness entering into the market, okay? So once you start to get that weakness, anyone that's expecting that market to head back up and take out that resistance zone through here is getting it wrong. And we can see it's failing, and then we start to get that unwind. And what you've got is a lot of sellers jumping in, along with anyone that's been buying it up into that resistance zone. And they all have to unwind any long positions, and we get new shorts initiating. So you can see that played out really, really well. You've even got another little shoulder starting to play out here, and the market's starting to head south. So that is a really good example of a shoulder coming into play and how we would utilize it in our trading. So I've got another example now on the Hang Seng. Okay, going from left to right, we can see that the market's found a bit of a base in here, started to pressure higher. It's gone to a bit of a pullback, a nice corrective action. And then we've got the market starting to lift again. So it was around this area here where we're starting to question, where are we going to fail or are we going to continue higher? And you can see once we started to get these tops failing again and we got price action pushing through the low just in here, it took out that minor level there, we've got our shoulder coming into play, okay? So what we're looking for really is the first sign when a directional move is starting to fall apart, okay? Whether it be a directional move in, changing direction, or whether it's continuation, whether your first pullback is starting to fail and we're looking for that shoulder where we're looking for continuation or a change of trend, basically. So what we've got here is the market's pressed up, first pullback, we've got a bit of a change in trend, okay? So we're looking for anyone that's buying through this zone in here is looking for the market to continue through these highs, to take it out and go to new highs. But what we've got is it started to fail below this high, okay? And then we've got failure. We're starting to take out these minor levels. And then we've got, if I just clear that up, the most key element is our shoulders coming to play there, okay? And even later on, once it becomes a bit clearer, we've got this expansion lower, pop back up, and we've got a little shoulder just in there as well, which led to further expansion to the downside. But what it's really looking to do, and what we're looking to take advantage of, is when traders are caught offside or caught on the wrong side of the action and they start to realize we've got, in this case, sellers stepping in at early levels, not waiting for the price to get back up towards these highs. They're stepping in a little earlier and we're starting to get that failure pattern, okay? The shoulder, like we said, what we like to term it. And a break to the downside, it's quite easily, you can box up your trade. Risk is on the top side there, and we're really looking for that expansion move down, okay? So hopefully there's a couple of good examples there, and you can see of what we're talking about. Even if you walk through, you'll be able to walk through and just pick out a few more shoulders. You've got little minor shoulders set up there. If we just go left to right, you've got expansionary move there. We've got another failure pattern or a shoulder on really, as these bulls start to realize they're on the wrong side of the market, we've got a shoulder playing out there. You'll be able to check out a few charts, whether it's, like I said, index, a currency, even on your shares. You'll be able to see shoulder patterns playing out time and time again. Even just in here, we've got a little shoulder. So you've got the downtrend fail just here. And we've got key levels, a shoulder starting to play out there. And we realize that anyone that's short in here is, especially after this failure or double bottom, we call it a retest fail, but this double bottom retest fail in here, it starts to fail and go into new lows. The market presses up, it's a deeper correction. And then we've got a shallow pullback and we've got our shoulder play out and unwind any of these shorts that started to jump in. Okay, so hopefully that helps explain to you what we term shoulders and how we utilize them in our trading. And it's really important to know that if you've got a build up of shorts or a build up of longs, we're looking for the shoulder entry to prove us when those longs or short have to unwind and they have to buy back or sell back their positions. And that gives us the opportunity in the opposite direction, okay, or continuation of the current trend. Well, we hope you enjoyed that, traders, and thanks very much for listening. Remember, if you did like our video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great content and sign up to the website to get access to all our premium videos for free. Speak to you again soon.